What's up, guys? CryptoMuser here. Now, today I want to talk about a couple things. I have two videos here showing Gary Gensler, the current chair of the SEC, and this was before he was working at the SEC. This is when he was, I believe, he was a private citizen, or he was working for Goldman Sachs. But so in these videos, the first video is him in 2018 before the Bill Hinman ETH free pass speech, and he's basically stating that the SEC has a lot of questions to answer in the future, and the facts, how are they going to, decide whether something is a security or not. But he believed at the time that Ethereum was a security, or at least that, the ICO they had in 2014 and 16, were securities offerings. And, which is very interesting. Let's watch the video here, and then I want to show you guys the video after. So we'll just start here.
So in order for them to have to be registered as a BD, you've got to decide that what they are selling is a security. The way they're functioning right now, I don't know that I have enough information to come to that conclusion. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying there are. They are. I think it needs to be decided.
And Commissioner Lubin raises a very good point. The reason that I have come to a view that they should be registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission is one of their four offerings, one of the four that they do, Ethereum. I believe there's a strong case, a strong legal case. It was a security. It was an investment contract in 2014 when it was offered, similar to all other initial coin offerings. They were careful, they were clever, but they still, I think, were a duck and waddles and quacks like a duck. And they passed the Howey test in 2014 and 2016. I think the Securities and Exchange Commission has a interesting challenge. And can something once being a security transform to be something else? And there's different debates that this commission doesn't have to get into, but that's why I just want.
So you see what he's saying there. So he thinks that the SEC definitely has some issues moving forward on what to call security and what to not with all these ICOs. But he believed at the time that Ethereum, and he loves to give his little duck reference in his talks. But so moving on to the next video. Now this is him after the Hinman speech. So this is when the SEC, and he even believed, so even in the tweet here, let's talk about fair notice, talking about the fair notice, Ripple's fair notice argument in their case. So let's talk about fair notice. When the fall of 2018, Gensler was stating that the SEC had considered ETH not a security. How did the future SEC chairman not even know that the Hinman speech was his personal opinion, but Ripple should have? So yeah, it's very true. How, this is the SEC chair, or the current SEC chair, but this is before he was, stating that, Bill Hinman's speech, or the SEC, maybe believing that Ethereum was not a security because, maybe they were a security in the early years during their ICO, but then morphed into a more decentralized asset and now are not a security. So even, like he's saying here, even the future SEC chairman didn't know that Hinman's speech was his personal opinion. So let's watch this speech here, or this video here first.
The challenge wanted to raise money. He was maybe 19 years old. He looped in with a venture capitalist from Canada, Joe Lubin, who now runs Consensus. Lubin took about 10% or 9.5% of the offering. They put 9.5% in a foundation called the Ethereum Foundation, and the other 80% was sold to the public for $18 million. We'll talk later in the semester as to whether that was really a securities offering. I publicly said I think so, but that was in 2014, and in 2018 the Securities and Exchange Commission has said regardless of what it might have been in 2014, it's now sufficiently decentralized that we'll consider it not a security. But in essence, they raised $18 million, and we're off to the races.
So that just basically states the confusion that was in the market. If Gary Gensler, as a private citizen here, giving a lecture at MIT, maybe believed that the Hinman speech was guidance in the market, saying that Ethereum was not a security, and he still even thought maybe that Ethereum was a security. So it's like, where is the guidance? How is Ripple supposed to know that what they're doing is illegal? So it's funny how the past administration, comes out with this Hinman speech, and like, as much as they want to say it was his personal opinion, it gave the market guidance. Everybody thought that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities. So that would make other, companies or other projects that were creating tokens that maybe they weren't they weren't a security because basically they did the same thing as Ethereum. So you see how these projects, I mean, now there's about, over 15,000 coins out there. How are they supposed to know they're a security? If the SEC won't give them clear guidance, how are they supposed to know that they're security? And like I said, the past administration kind of gave a little guidance, but now it seems like the current administration, and Gary Gensler is saying that basically no asset is off the table as being regulated as a security. So the inconsistency here of clear guidance in the market is exactly why I think Ripple's fair notice argument is in this case is so strong. I don't think one person, besides maybe someone working at the SEC currently, would say that there's clear guidance in this market, especially when it comes to, what is a security and what is not. So until someone, that being, the SEC, the CFTC, FinCEN, Congress, the Fed, or, maybe even this executive order by the White House, until someone comes out with some real solid, fair regulation, then we'll basically be in this gray area in the market. And it will be impossible to mature as a evolving asset class unless someone, and it's funny that I named all those are all regulators, and like, why do we have that many regulators in the first place? There should be 2 or 3 regulators in this market. If they're not communicating with each other, then just have 3. Or basically, get together, have a meeting, and decide what you want to do with this market. Because it is happening. It's moving forward. So you either get with it or, let someone else regulate it, So just wanted to start off the video with those 2 videos just to basically show the confusion that's been in this market from day one. Moving on to the next video, or this is a video here. Hold on a second, let me just time it up. So this is the past SEC chairman, Paul Atkins, and he was giving his reasoning on why he thought, it would be a bad decision to call Ethereum a security. And Ripple Eye here, who tweeted this out, makes a good point too. And, we'll watch the video and then I'll tell you why I agree with Ripple Eye here.
Because Chair Gensler has suggested in the past that he believes Ether to be a security.
Well, going back even before Chairman Gensler was nominated and then, of course, confirmed and appointed, there were some people who were saying, he's going to take a very hands-off approach to the crypto world because, he knows it and understands it and that sort of thing. I think that is not indicated by anything before or, currently. I think his, he had that lecture at MIT that people can pull up on YouTube or whatever, where he talks about how Ether is a security. But we heard back under, the previous administration, Bill Hinman gave a speech where he talked about how Ether has morphed from arguably being a security at the beginning with its, how it came about and the organization around it, to how it's morphed into that arguably it's not a security. So that actually gave a lot of people some comfort, although it was only a speech by a staff member and it's not a statement or action of the commission. But at least that was something. So I think I think it's arguable that Bitcoin and Ether are not securities, and there's an indication that the SEC may well take that particular point, but I think the ramifications of declaring Ether to be a security are huge, and I don't think the market really understands what that would mean with rescission rights of people who have had, who have traded Ether. If it's an unregistered security, that could just have a huge impact on, that whole ecosystem of everything that's then based on that particular framework. So I don't think the SEC is going to do that because of the ramifications of that. But right now it's.
So exactly. So in the beginning of that interview there, he basically says how there's, the SEC under Jay Clayton maybe thought that Ethereum and Bitcoin were not securities, and there was an argument whether that was SEC guidance or not, but there was still, there was some clarity in the market, that people could read into. But then the current administration is basically saying that, who knows what is the security and what's not. But then in the second half of that, he talks about how, if the SEC would come down and say that Ethereum was a security, you could basically say that any other, by saying Ethereum is a security, any other coin built on the Ethereum network could then be called a security. And then also, basically, you could call anything that had an ICO, because Ethereum had an ICO, you could call them a security. So basically, you can call any other coin a security if you call Ethereum a security. So, how many, if they would have done that, and he says it here, they won't, but, we don't know with Gary Gensler and the SEC now, but, how many millions of investors would be hurt by that, around, not just this country, but around the world too. That would be truly catastrophic if they would come out and say that Ethereum was a security. But now Ripple Eye says in this, it would harm a lot of Ethereum holders and obviously a lot more people, because then you can call anything a security. But, what about XRP holders? If it was such a big deal for the SEC not to call Ethereum a security because it would hurt so many investors, why was it okay then to call XRP a security and to hurt, almost over, maybe almost 100,000 XRP holders around the world? So, basically, I guess it's okay to take on Ripple and hurt XRP investors, but, they won't go after Ethereum. So we don't know. I mean, in all seriousness, I don't see the SEC backing down after this case. I think that Ripple for sure is going to win this lawsuit, and it's going to be a big win for, the crypto asset class as a whole. But it won't take all the power away from the SEC. It will take a lot of the power for sure. But I think whatever power is left, the SEC and Gary Gensler are coming after, other aspects of the crypto sphere, like maybe exchanges, lending products, and etc. So, and we're starting to see that, coming out in the news lately, them going after exchanges and lending products for sure. But, it's very interesting to see what, especially after this lawsuit, how much power that leaves the SEC and all this. So, just wanted to show you those quick videos just to, show you obviously the confusion around the market. Obviously, there's no clarity in this market. There hasn't never been clarity in this market from day one. But also, if they would, it just doesn't make any sense that the government agency that is supposedly protecting investors, for them to come out and call Ethereum a security and basically call all other altcoins a security, that would hurt millions and millions of investors all around the world, and that would just go against everything that the SEC is supposedly for. So it would make no sense at all. But don't leave it. With Gary Gensler and the SEC, the current SEC, I wouldn't say never. So moving on. So saw this. This video I thought was just hilarious, and I wanted to show you guys. This was in a crypto hearing a couple months back, and this is Senator John Kennedy, and I just always thought this was hilarious, and I saw it on Twitter and just wanted to show you guys if no one's seen it. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but just wanted to show because it's hilarious.
Look, I don't mean any disrespect to you. I followed your career. You've had quite a career in public service. You've made a lot of money on Wall Street. I respect that. I honor that. But as to the people and the companies that you regulate, as chairman of the SEC, do you consider yourself to be their daddy?
No.
Then why do you act on it?
Right? It gets me every time, because that's exactly how Gary Gensler tries to act. Like, he knows better for the common investor, and that only rich people should be allowed to enter this market or enter the stock market. It's like pure government overreach at its finest, and I love that video. Not always a big fan of that congressman, but just thought that was a perfect video. So moving on. So this is something that I'm seeing a lot of. I think it's a big thing going on in this market right now. So this is breaking. This is from Dennis Porter. Breaking: Senator from Mississippi introduces bill to recognize Bitcoin in the state code. And then another tweet. This is from Bitcoin Magazine. Bitcoin is the greatest technology shift since the internet, says Texas governor candidate Alan West. And then another one along the same lines. This is from Blockworks. In September, State Senator Wendy Rogers from Arizona promises to help make Arizona a crypto-friendly state. The Bitcoin legal tender bill is a step in that direction. So, what you're seeing, and there's a lot more of these that I could have showed, but what you're seeing here is, what the message I'm trying to get at here is that, and I've talked about this before, the midterm elections are coming up at the end of the year, right? And the smart politicians seem to be, seeing crypto as a real issue that affects millions of American voters. So for the midterms, I've also said that, not a lot of people vote in the midterms. It's not very important for Americans, I guess. I'd say almost 25 to 30% of Americans actually vote in the midterm elections. But if you give, voters an actual important reason to vote, then it can definitely, get more voters to the polls. So what we're seeing here is one candidate after another, using crypto to gain that attention and to get people, out to vote in these elections. And I definitely think this is a genius idea, and we're probably definitely going to see more and more of this, as the year goes on. So you'd think that anti-crypto politicians would probably be shaking in their boots, right? You think that anti-crypto people would be like, oh, it's not that big of an issue anyway, so, I don't care. You can be pro-crypto all you want, but, we'll be against it. And that's the total mindset that I cannot stand. That people, that politicians don't think this is a big enough issue. And it really is. And it's up to American voters to let them know, that we see what they're doing. I think it was 30 to 50 million Americans own crypto in the U.S. And, how many more millions of people and Americans, would like to get into this market in the future? So those are, that's a lot of people, a lot of voters in this country. So what we need to do is actually, get the message out there, that we will vote against these anti-crypto banker shills, basically. And now there's a website, and this is what I want to show you just to end this video. This is ProCoin News, and they now have something on their website that basically will tell you, who the anti-crypto politicians are, so we can vote them out. And I just thought this was great. This is exactly what we need, because it's so hard to know, which politician is pro-crypto or anti-crypto, but exactly what we needed. So this is ProCoin News, and they'll tell you exactly who we need to vote out in this coming midterm election. So I'll end the video there, guys. I hope you like the content. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notification. I really appreciate the support. I'm trying to grow this channel as best I can, and I'll be posting a video every day until, I'm 100%, dedicated to doing this. So hope you liked it. Just remember, I am not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And that'll be it, guys. And we will see you on the next one.